the first thing I realized was, oh, this is another element of this situation, because
Hey, what's good? What's going on? I'm back with another video, and I am Relogy, the OG that also goes by him, and they don't get that twisted. I'd like to welcome you guys into the real world where the real I realizes the real lie, and this is the Arts Escapes. Listen, man, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, I do not know what it is you're doing, but whatever you're doing, it's super wrong, right? Because we're growing, honestly speaking. And currently, I'm still trying to figure out ways on how I can aesthetically and artistically express this space. Because as you guys know, right here we are all about art and everything in between. Without any waste of time though, today we will be reacting to my boy's chap, which I felt it was one of the realest. Actually, all of them are the realest because, you know, it's friends we keep, bro. From episode 1 up to this one right here, he has kept it a bucket since, and we appreciate that as fans and as audience. Let me not say fans because it has a stigma to it. As an audience, we appreciate it, right? And today we'll be reacting to one of his release chops. That's on episode 16. The podcast is titled Chopping It with Buddha T, one of the culture chops, one of the greatest culture chops that the country has right now. Come for me all you want, I don't care. This is not glazing, I'm just keeping it a bucket. Remember, this is where we'll keep it real and authentic, right? So here we'll be reviewing how, since we all know that we are in the month that gives light or shed light on everything that has to do with men's mental health, and that is June. So I react to this one simply because it also shares the very same sentiments Zingah is telling us or giving us insight into his life. I'm not gonna speak much, I'm just gonna play the clip. Do expect the pauses there and there while I speak my mind and have my opinions as well. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right. You can also have your own opinions on my comment section below, which I would truly like and I appreciate. Without any waste of time, let's just jump straight right into it, right? Let's go.
which in my introspection, in my working on myself, I realized that the crux of all my issues are daddy issues. Because I was in a position where I was like, so I grew up broken home style. I think a lot of us have seen this. It's like folks separate. It's either you end up with your moms or you end up with your dad. Whoever you ending up with is probably talking that shit about the.
This is facts too. We all know that, right? Whereby I am gonna keep it a bucket with you guys. I am. I wouldn't want to say a victim, but someone who has experienced that firsthand, whereby both your parents are separating, you know, and you will be left with one, or you'll have to stay with either one of them. And in my case was like staying with my mom's. And obviously now and then, as Zingah is saying, that the other one will just trash talk the other one. And that as a result becomes something that you inherit, and that is hate either than anything else. You start having like a different feeling about the other partner or your parent, and that's what we grew up under, you know. And that's the realest thing ever, man.
Other nigga, it's not really about all that. It's not really the one and this and that. So it's like, as the kid, you kind of inherit that beef. Also, I was already into hip hop, so of course, you know, if we beefing, I'm outside.
Of course.
You know, so if my mom's just saying, no, your daddy is like this and that, I'm inheriting that. And for me, so as blatant and brazen as I've been in the game, as how I've been in character my whole life. So even with my dad, I gave him that treatment. Like, I let him know, like, you not big dog like that, big dog. Like, and at some point we were like texting back and forth. He was like, where are you right now? I'm gonna come and whoop you right the fuck now. At that point also, I'm like calling him, what was I calling him? It's something I was pissing him off. We're going back and forth. I was so out of pocket. I think I was calling him Mr. Similani or something. I'm like, yeah, Mr. Similani.
Last name basis.
He's like, I'm your father.
Crazy.
So, yeah. Yeah, so that I realized in my time sitting down that the spiral comes from the hate that I'm holding in, and the hurt actually, and the pain, and all of that. It's like when you grow up, it's cool and it's okay to like sweep stuff under the rug.
Facts.
And you think that, oh nah, it's done with. I just swept it under there, and yeah, that's cool.
That is so true, especially when you know that you got something that you are paying attention to. It makes it even more easier to actually sweep everything under the rugs, because you are paying attention to something that's actually, giving you the glorification that you probably think you need at that certain point in time. So it gets very easy for you to deflect dealing with serious issues.
Cool. And everything I had swept under the rug my whole life, because I had too much time to be cool and like not attend like my real life. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm outside. The girls think I'm fired. Like, they think I got swag out here. Like, I rap. Like, I don't care about the divorce and this and that. I'm outside and I'm killing it. But all of that outsideness and killing it, and then all that stuff under the carpet, is how you end up hitting the brick wall that you hit. So then you gotta go then sit down and do your homework. And in that homework, the realization of, okay, so the first issue up there is Pops. And so my Pops also is very prideful. Like, he's not gonna come and say, oh yeah, maybe I was wrong, I'm sorry, right?
Yeah, but black parents don't apologize.
I like that you did that, big dog, because I didn't want to.
That is so true. Black parents do not know how to apologize. Let's start it off there. Not that they don't, they completely do not know how to do it, because it's something they are not immune to, right? It's something that they've never done because of how they were also raised, basically. And I feel like this is constantly changing with the present parents. We young and we kind of like cognitive on stuff that affected us when we was growing, so we try by all means to avoid that from recurring to our generation. We try by all means to eliminate that. So it's not the matter of them not apologizing, but it's them not knowing how to do it because they were never taught how to. That's true, it's facts as well.
Do that to the black folks, because we're all here because of black folks.
No, they don't apologize. No, they don't.
Yes, it's not in that system, right? Like, as far as
they'll ask you for sulambile, ufuna ukudla. That's the apology.
That's the best apology you get. True. They come in the room and say,
just open your room, sorry, and be like, your favorite show is playing, by the way. That's them saying, I'm sorry for whipping you, giving you a hardest whipping. Your favorite show is Dragon Ball Z is playing, so you're gonna watch what? That's them saying, I'm sorry. Or they be like, yo, there's food on the table, I'm done cooking. That's them saying, sorry, you feel me? Instead of being like articulative and that whatever had transpired, they're very apologetic. Thanks.
And it's like, Big Dog just hurt my feelings like 5 minutes ago. What is he talking about? I want to sleep my pain away.
Of course, you mad, man.
Yeah, that was the first thing I had to do. And in doing that, I had to mean it as well. Because, respectfully to my dad, he might watch this. He's definitely going to watch this. He watches my shit. Shout out to you, Big Dog. So, yeah, shout out to Pops, man. So he's not initially really giving it to me. No, did he? You feel me? He's like,
crazy.
Yes, but I need you to be forthcoming so that you can release me from the things that have chained me my whole life. Like, untie these thoughts, these beliefs. Like, I have so much to unlearn. Help me out. Mm-hmm. And then in that realization, also, I then came to the realization, I guess, a lot of realization that, okay, I'm going to have to hunt for this. Like, he may not be equipped with what he needs to give that to me. So I might have to go find it.
Because he actually doesn't know.
It's not in his practice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I then had to teach. So that's how I became a chopper, which is a funny story. It came from the realization that I had to say so much to get a lot back. And also from the fact that all the things that I needed to hear, someone had to say them. So that's what.
Listen to me when I tell you this is the craziest story ever, right? My kind of vibe is super different. Me meeting up with my pops was the most weirdest moment ever in my life. Because remember that I've inherited whatever anger that was transferred to me by my moms, right? About this gent. So now, years later, I meet this gent. It gets awkward, fucked up, because I'm a gent as well, and I'm grown. I met him in my grown ass years. I'm telling you that. We're sitting, bro, in the same vicinity, right? And obviously the reasons for us meeting there were not really good like that for us to kind of like make it about us, and it wasn't allowing. As said, I lost my grandpops, so we met at the funeral. So we're sitting there as men. We're sitting there. He's sitting across me. Nobody's saying nothing to no one. So in my head, I'm like, so you're the guy who thinks he's the one. Well, what you are missing out on is the fact that I am him. You get me? Through everything that you think you have put me through, you not being present and available when I needed you, I became him, that gent. So don't even get it twisted when you're sitting across me and thinking that I need you. I've made it through all these years without you, and I'm fine. I became him, the legendary ever. Someone who's managed to stick it through any odds. So we prideful when we're sitting there. One is expecting one to say something to another, and nobody's saying shit. And you know what I did eventually? I stood up and took a walk. I'm like, no, I don't need this kind of energy in my space, and I'm gonna walk out. And I did that. And my walking, I thought to actually walk the dog. Yeah, I just took the dog out of the leash, and I was like, yo, let me walk. And in that very same process, I'm thinking, it's happening, bro. It's kind of. So I'm meeting this dude. He isn't going to even say nothing to me, Oh, what? Dog. I mean, say something. You feel me? And yeah, man, and I came back and we keep it at that. We actually keep it at that. No one says shit to nobody. So we're both prideful. Like, he's probably thinking, I'm not gonna let this kid manipulate me. Kids ought to respect, because remember that's how they were raised. They don't have it in their system that they need to come down to the level of their kids and actually realize their bad deeds and acknowledge the fact that they need to apologize. You get me? They don't have that in their system. And on the other side, I'm here being the him that I am, because I know that I'm lit outside. I am burning outside. Like, yeah. I come from, playing soccer, bro. I come from being the hardest soccer player ever. I come from hooping. What are you talking about? They know me outside, So to let that all go, because now I have to be respectful to a gent that I never knew for all these years. No, you get me? So, conflicts, bro.
I speak so much so that somebody out there needed to hear that. Like, if everybody else like, Big Dog is just talking that shit, like somebody actually had to hear that. So I sat there with Big Dog and we took our years and built it. And now we're like
solid,
Big Dog and
solid,
Big Dog.
Yeah. I'm personally happy for you having found your space in your relationship with your dad. I think it's incredible, and you can never undermine a parent, somebody, because parents are actual first heroes. Like, that's your first hero, and you need affirmation from your parent, from your dad, from your uncle, whoever, because it...
Oh, the story. I didn't get to finish the story. We met, funeral over, and now we had to, disperse to our place of comforts, of course. And I'm chilling, bro. I'm him. You must get this right that I'm him. So I'm chilling. I'm ready to even like dip out. Then he's dipping out in a whip. Got a new wife, of course. I mean, he's dead. You get me? He's dipping out. So he's pulling out. As he was pulling out, I was standing outside. Then he parks near me. He speaks to my sister. He's like, yo guys, I'll see you some other time. So now we're leaving. I hope you guys will also leave well and be safe on the roads. My sister's like, yeah, we'll see you guys. And he's like, I'll call you guys. I'm like, dude, you don't even have my number. How are you gonna call me? Oh, but maybe you're not speaking to me. You're obviously speaking to my sister, right? So I'm like, yeah. Because the chats are like this. When they went separate ways, him and my mom's, when I stayed with my mom. Let me not say I stayed. I remained with my mom and my sister left with dad. Not because we wanted to, but that's how it happened. So years later, I started meeting my sister first after so many years of being away from her, which kind of had an impact in our relationship, which is something we'll speak about later. And then at this point, he's saying, I'll call you guys. So in my head, I'm like, no, obviously he's talking to her because they kind of have that relationship, but not me. And yeah, man, he bounced, he left. And a few days later, I received calls. I'm like, yo, son, what's going on? Crazy, weird story. We'll talk about that at a later stage.
If they don't say that they're proud of you, it doesn't matter if the world doesn't say they're proud, right? Like, and if you're not okay with them, you're really not okay with the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. So that's where the actual issue then is. Exactly. I'm an emotional person, but I don't want to cry. But I really am happy that you're able to fix that. This brings me back to then becoming a better dad, because I can imagine that you were not as great as a dad if you didn't have a solid relationship.
Out, big dog on stage, big dog.
Come on.
I'm your sister. I'm having a real conversation. People wanna, and this is a great milestone because there's so many of us that can relate, and so.
Here's the reason why I actually reacted to this, and I'm gonna make this part 1, right? There will be part 2 because there's so many gems I feel like as young people we need from this culture chop with Buddha T. Just to try to keep the video short, I'll make this part 1, and then there will be part 2 and part 3 depending on the type of content that we'll be getting from it. So yeah, fine, all the anger inherited from my dad throughout all these years, to me it made sense. It actually validated the way I thought about him, you know. I was like, I'm gonna keep it moving like that. Even meeting up with him, first meet up, I was like still on my anger bag, right? But as years progressed, and me being a dad, becoming a father, a very present father, and how life actually happened, the things that I had to endure, the pain that I had to go through as a man, I later on realized that actually it wasn't him that inflicted all this pain. It was the circumstances that pushed him to actually succumb to whatever option he had at that point in time, right? Because me now having to live that phase of being a father and to encounter things that I have, it became something very hard to do. We all had, as I've said, we come from broken families. It made it so hard now for me to be how I had to be, because I have been without someone who will teach me how to be when it's my time to be. You get me? And in that very same space, him not being present and me having to go through all these things, the adversities I'm talking about, it actually unlocked something in my mind to say, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. It really, really wasn't him. I had my fuck-ups, and my fuck-ups kind of then brought me back to realize that I actually appreciate this dude, you know, for not doing good, for not being present in my life, which sounds crazy when you hear it, but I just appreciate him because what he went through is real, because now I'm going through it. but I am trying so hard to fix what he got wrong. I don't know if it makes sense. I am trying to be present, be there, emotionally for my kids, and be the dad I never had, right? Even though I fuck up sometimes because I didn't have the template to do it right since he wasn't present. But in my fuck ups, I have fuck ups, bro. My fuck ups made me realize that if I was him, would want to not be praised and glorified for my fuck ups, but be appreciated, to say this is life. This is life, and shit is bound to happen. So that kind of helped me grow. That kind of helped me, even though that we are not as connected as Zingah and his dad are, but from distance I appreciate it. You get me? Because I understand that it is tough. It was tough for him even. And yeah, man, kind of crazy. And I think about it right now, it's super crazy. So yeah, that's it, bro. Like, actually, it helped me to appreciate him even more because he's human, honestly speaking. And from that, his mistakes I've learned to kind of try to correct. I'm not competing and trying to be the better version of him. No, I'm trying to learn from what he couldn't do right and fix what I need to fix with me, not with his. I'm not fixing his mistakes. I'm learning and fixing my mistakes, if it makes sense.
Many of other people that are going to walk away wanting to be better, and you're known to be like really real.
That's
like
facts.
You say how you feel, you say it as it is.
That's why
I think this would be a great moment for that. So how you then evolve as a dad, I'm a parent, I'm a mom, and there's so many mistakes that I've made as a mom because of my relationship with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that the moment that I fixed certain things with my mom, I then became a better mom.
Mm-hmm.
Just starting to forgive my mom, starting to say I'm sorry to my mom and I'm sorry for this, for that, understanding her circumstance and also wanting that sorry as well from her and I've never gotten it, I've gotten it in action.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
We love you, moms.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? But I can imagine that really being able to sit with your dad like that has had a great impact on your kids.
It changed my entire life. So I love that you bring that up because that was also one of the first things that hit me that was humbling, because it's like I literally grew up judging my dad so harshly, and then I got into situations where that's tough. I got into situations that were tricky for me and that I didn't know how to handle. And in my not knowing how to handle, I wasn't handling.
Okay.
So finding myself in deadbeat dad allegations when I've grown up my whole life saying,
not wanting to be
like that was like somebody my dad is not really fuck that. And it's like, oh shit, so this is how this thing happens. It's like, oh, you don't really just want to walk away from your kids and just go to the club and
it's circumstances.
Go to the next lady, and it's like these things are super complicated.
Sometimes you have little control.
Yes,
if not most
these
of the
things
time.
are very complicated, and so in that stance came then the forgiveness part, because the first thing I realized was, oh, this is another element of this situation, because people splitting and people feeling away, people express themselves. So in those expressions and finding myself on the other side of someone else expressing themselves, I realized that
this is actually getting me emotional, because we are trying, bro. We are literally trying, and I can see him trying so hard to hold back the emotions, right? We are figuring this thing out ourselves. And I'm not saying this because I expect that men should be glorified for trying to figure shit out. But I'm saying this for people to actually be aware. And when I say people, I'm talking to both genders, man. Like, be it a woman or a man. For a man, know that we are figuring this thing out ourselves. Don't expect something to come and show you how to do it. Do it yourself, bro. You will find ways. Trust me, there will be bits and pieces of directory into what you want to actually figure out. If you put yourself in a position of wanting to figuring things out, the universe will get pieces and directories to get you to actually where you want to be. And to the other gender, women looking from outside, you guys should know that we are not reluctant into being or kind of fitting into y'all's expectations. We are figuring things out on this other side. You know, we are match making, we are match comparing, we are fitting stuff, we are learning, we are unlearning. It's just a whole lot of things going on. Just to give you the tip of the iceberg, we are doing so much trying to get the puzzle right. The machine is just constantly in motion trying to put things together, which is why you'll find men most of the time they either quiet, or when they're out, they just like outside like that, because they're trying to figure things out, which for somebody who's viewing from the outside, they will think that he's not doing anything about the situation. You will think like that, but this is actually what's going on. This is just the tip of an iceberg, you guys. This is just what we are figuring out a lot of things. I'm trying not to make this video to be that long. There will be part 2, of course, and I hope you guys will wait for that and tune. But most importantly, I hope you guys, especially gents, had something to take away from this video. And listen, man, this is something that's concurrently happening with that social media couple that's been going on since it's in We're unfortunate. I've seen that kind of a thing happening where they are fighting, right? And this now it involves the child, right? How is it simple? Fortunately, it's the gent, yeah, simple, yeah. So how the mother speaks about the father to the kid determines how the father is going to behave around the dad in the absence of their mom. I don't know if it makes sense, but if it doesn't, play it again and think about it very well. How the mother speaks about the father in the absence of the father to the kid will determine how the kid behaves to the father in the absence of the mom. You get me? It's very important that when young people, especially who are in a relationship and have a kid, it's very important for them not try not to badmouth their fathers and vice versa, of course, because that affects the kid and it actually affects their entire upbringing. So be very vigilant of how you raise the kid, provided that the circumstances pushed you guys to be in a place whereby you are no longer together in making sure that you raise the child, right? And please do wait for my next upload. This is it. Don't forget to subscribe. Actually, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so as you get notified next time. This is a new space. Leave in the comment section and tell me what you think about the space. We are constantly trying to make it looks so aesthetically pleasing. Not forgetting to add obviously the art pieces that I have did. So yeah guys, I'll check you out on my next upload. Thank you so much for tuning in.